I waited until I was around 60 hours into the Destiny Rising Alpha to make this overview deep dive video. Most people talked about the game before getting into the endgame, which is why I waited, since endgame is what I care most about, with more than like 10,000 hours in Destiny 2. I've now spent probably over 100 hours on Rising, and I'm still hooked on it. It feels nice just to have some fresh life in Destiny again. I'm also making other videos for Rising, like a raid guide, 10 things I wish I knew before playing, what Rising has that I wish Destiny 2 had, and a ton more. If you want to stay up to date, subscribe to the channel to get notified, and leave a comment to let me know what you think. It's going to start to get its hooks in you. I'm explaining exactly what happened to me, where I was like, it looks kind of bad. Looks like PlayStation 2 graphics. Oh, this guy's talking funny. And now I have 60 hours in the game and I'm hooked. I think it'll surprise people. When you play this game, you will start to feel how much work has been dumped into this, how much careful thought and planning there has to have been, because of how all these systems exist and exist well and have been implemented in a way that as a new player, after finishing the tutorial, I can now work on different parts of my builds, of my characters, of my account, and continuing leveling up in the end game through my golden path, trying to hit a couple leaderboards here and there. And it's just dopamine central. Welcome to my Destiny Rising review. Is this game good? What's bad about this game? Is it better than Destiny 2? Why am I addicted to it? Will I think the game be successful? Is it a gacha game only? Are they paying you to say this? No, they're not. Video. Destiny Rising is a mobile game currently. The devs have been talking about a PC port maybe, but is primarily a mobile game. It's currently in a closed alpha state. That means it's not done with development. Not everyone has access to it. Guessing there's maybe 1,000 people in it based on how many people are streaming it at any given time. Right now, there are 3 people streaming it. For how addicted I am to Destiny Rising, for there to be that few streamers, not a lot of people are playing it. Most people's understanding of the game is just based purely on other people playing it. So far, most people have enjoyed it. This game's not for everyone because it is a mobile game, and if you're just used to Destiny 2 PC console game, it's definitely different. Destiny Rising is being published by NetEase. As far as we know, Bungie licensed Destiny assets to be used for it. Bungie has had their hand in it and influenced in some way. Clearly, there's a lot of Destiny assets being used, sound effects, certain graphics, certain models and textures you'll see that are very similar to what we're used to. I've heard there was a test team at Bungie that worked on some of the quality assurance for Destiny Rising. So yeah, this game is not being developed by Bungie. They are part of the process. To what degree, we don't know. No, we do not know a release date for Destiny Rising. Destiny Rising definitely needs polish in certain areas, but there are so many different systems in the game, reward paths, leveling up paths, currencies all over the place that you can use to level up different things. It's incredibly well built out, much further along than I thought it would be. I foresee this game releasing next year, 2025. I don't want it released too early though, because it does need more work in storytelling, dialogue, a lot of the cinematics, a lot of the animations just not up to par where I want them to be. It is a mobile game, and not having too much mobile experience, I'm not sure what level of polish players are expecting for that part of the game. I kind of give it a little bit of leeway because most people are playing it on a phone screen or a tablet, whereas I'm emulating using PC. So Destiny Rising is free to play, but is a gacha. Gacha games, for those who don't know, are where you can spend money to save time and improve your character, your level, your stuff. Silver is the real money currency in the game. In the alpha of Destiny Rising, you cannot buy silver. Everything I've done so far in Destiny Rising in terms of rolling for or drawing for these mythic characters, these high-level characters, has all been done using materials I've gotten from just progressing in the game. And so far, after 50 hours, I've unlocked all characters except for Maru. So gacha games typically have predatory microtransactions that make you feel like you need to spend your real life money in order to keep up or to continue to level up. You can also see how I have some silver, even though you can't buy silver. Because it's an alpha, they have a reward track for closed alpha benefits, basically just a way for you to experience what you could buy if this were the full version of the game. The only thing I've spent silver on so far was just like cosmetic. So far in the closed alpha, I've not spent any of my silver on more chances at a mythic character or upgrade materials. I've only spent it on cosmetics. I don't know if the alpha has its progression rate turned up so that we as alpha players are able to burn through progression faster, to not feel like we need to buy our way into getting more chances at a mythic character. I can see where that's a possibility, but we have no way to know that. With how this game is currently tuned, I'm happy with it in terms of how I was able to progress while playing for the first 50 or so hours. I was able to get 5 out of 6 mythic characters and have not used any real life money for that. No way possible I'll support a game called a gacha game. Let's talk about how a game can be monetized. In this game, you can be 100% free to play. You can then do the following things. Every single activity, including the raid, all activities that help level up your character, the legacy activities. You can also do strikes, the 6-player co-op activity, the Zur or 9 activities, and the Expanse, which is a multi-event slash wave slash super difficult time trialed activity, all for free. And you can pull and get any character in the entire game and any of their content for free, along with any of the weapons in the game for free. Now, in another game, if you're free to play, here's what you can do. I'm actually not sure how many things are paywalled here. Here's what you cannot do as a free to play player in Destiny 2. All of these things are paywalled. So all the activities here, all of the exotics, all of the subclasses, all of the meta weapons and builds are all paywalled behind this stuff, and you literally cannot access it at all if you're free to play. Imagine if you're a free to play player in Destiny 2 and you load up Crucible, you get to try to play against players that have way more than you. Both monetary structures are not without their faults. I like the idea of a free to play player being able to access every piece of content in the game. Where I stand with the gacha style is if I enjoy the game, I want to support it. I will most likely buy the premium battle pass. Oh yeah, I did use silver that they gave you through the closed alpha reward track to buy the premium battle pass for $8 or $10, I think, in silver, which gives you extra drops as you play the game, which is how I prefer. I prefer to progress my game through completing activities as opposed to just, outright buying rolls on a character, buying draws of a character. So this is paying money to save time because this does up my drop rates. So at the end of activities, you can use your pinnacle energy to increase your rewards. If you don't have any pinnacle energy left, you still get rewards. They're just not as juiced. You get 120 of this every day, resets at 7 a.m. my time. That lets you increase your rewards so you can get more upgrade materials and continue your progression. You can also buy extra pinnacle energy. If this is tuned in a way where it feels like I'm running out all the time and I feel like I'm forced to do this, it's going to feel bad and I'm going to feel like not wanting to play it. I can see where people get hooked and start just dumping money into like stamina type currency, and that is predatory and that's bad. But if it's tuned in a way where I don't really feel like I need this except on days where I'm just like grinding nonstop for way too long, then maybe every once in a while I would do that. We just have straight up challenges, and once those challenges are done, those pinnacle drops are just gone. So you just have 3 characters, you can do a thing once, get the pinnacle drop, and then it's just gone. I'm very accustomed to that. I'm very used to like checking off all the boxes for all the pinnacle rewards and saying, okay, I guess I'm done on that character, let me move to the next character. Okay, I'm done. And then I just stop. So when it comes to a gacha game that has this stamina energy that lets you potentially use real money to refresh your drops, I'm not too interested in that because I've never had the opportunity to do that before. If this is not tuned correctly, it will cause anyone who is a Destiny 2 player and not a mobile gamer, a gacha gamer, to be furious at it because they'll feel like the game isn't letting them play as much as they want to play it. And that's kind of a thing we hear about in Destiny all the time. I think how this is tuned will be very important for how it's received. And it's a balance between how much extra revenue does the game want to make versus how many retained players do they want to keep. Yeah, you can still play, get lesser loot, get less progression, but that feels not great. My stance on buying to save time comes down to I don't care if someone else is faster and higher level than me in a PvE game. Because what am I losing by having somebody else in the social space, like being further along on their progression than me? Like if I'm having fun progressing my own character, how does you being at a higher level negatively impact me? The only time that would happen would be like PvP, I guess, or this game's version of Gambit called Shifting Gates. So PvP is in Destiny Rising. It's only available on the weekends, called the Iron Bar. It's sort of like an Iron Banner. 6v6 has this fair play modifier, just like Shifting Gates does. Shifting Gates is Destiny Rising's version of Gambit, where it's PvE, Fair play makes everyone's relic level 1, so everyone's basically power level disabled. Because you can pay money to get the best characters in the game, then there is some amount of pay to win involved. When I played the little bit of PvP that I played, Estella's illusion dragons were incredibly annoying and tracking me around the map. I felt really weak on like my starter character, but it could be just a skill issue. How does Destiny Rising different at its core from Destiny 2 in terms of how the sandbox works, what you can upgrade, what you have access to, and what you don't? So in this game, you play individual characters like Gwen, like Estella, like these 4. They have specific weapon types they can use. They have no armor. In Destiny 2, you have armor that you wear with different stats, giving you different cooldown changes, different attributes for your characters, different exotics you can wear with different abilities. In Destiny Rising, there is no armor. You just have certain weapon types. So Wolf can only use an auto and a GL. Estella can only use a pulse and a machine gun. You level the character up using upgrade materials you get from different activities in the game. So you can increase your rating all the way from apprentice to legend, which is based on your level, your weapon rating, your relic rating, and your artifacts rating. Your relic is your subclass tree. You can increase your super, your 2 abilities, and then you can unlock your passive with upgrade materials. Usually these materials will have multiple sources. For instance, these materials come from activity called Morgan's Prey, or you can turn in bounties, or you can go to your clan shop and use your clan currency to exchange them for a couple additional currencies to help upgrade your relic. Artifacts are something else that buff your character. These slots unlock as you increase your character's rating here and go from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 star. There's 3 different types of artifacts. There's the tenacious ones that give you mostly defensive abilities. So this one, when you slot 2 of them, gives you a 10% overshield when moving for 3 seconds. The sharp side gives you offensive buffs for the most part. This one increases damage dealt to powerful combatants by 15. And then there's the seasonal artifact slots. I imagine these will rotate every season. They're a little more juicy. This buff, if I'm DPSing the raid boss with my machine gun, it constantly feeds ammo back into the mag so I can shoot it for much longer. The other part of your character is the skill tree. The skill tree provides passive buffs to abilities of your character. When I use Wolf's main spammable melee attack, I get an overshield that keeps me alive and lets me keep spamming that attack so I can stay alive. How do you get skill trees unlocked? You have to get crystals. So every time I draw an Estella, if I already have Estella, I'll get a crystal for her that I can then slot into the skill tree. I've not tried to pull her again because I'm trying to just get all mythic characters. Every character that's not the starter character called Wolf has a diary that digs into the lore behind that character that you can read and learn about kind of the history of each character. I've not done that because I don't really care about lore, but if that's your thing, there you go. There's also the appearance tab. These are a lot of cosmetics you can either unlock through gameplay or purchase cosmetics through the store. I think another main core gameplay difference from Destiny 2 to Destiny Rising is that because this is designed to be a mobile game, you'll see that the activities are generally faster paced. You can get into and out of them much more quickly. So if I wanted to launch into a destination, I would click fast travel, similar to Destiny 2, except this loads in 3 to 4 seconds as opposed to actually that was the longest load I've ever seen at 5 seconds. Now I'm in game. Then if I were to perform anything from a public event, one of these little side missions, everything is just faster paced. Morgan's Prey probably lasts for 6 minutes. Legacy is probably like a 5-minute activity. Gauntlet Ops Blitz, 5-minute activity. The raid is broken up into 3 different encounters. So again, we were doing these in like 5 minutes. Heroic strikes are probably 7 or 8 minutes tops. The longest activity is Expanse. stage after stage after stage. There's checkpoints, so you can do them individually between every 10 levels, but every 10 levels is about 7 to 8 minutes. So Destiny 2 has activities that can last anywhere up to like an hour. And then it has activities as short as a couple of minutes, like a patrol or like a bounty and a destination. But it seems like nothing in this game is intended to ever last without a checkpoint for more than 7 minutes tops. So I think that's another big core gameplay difference. How's the Destiny Rising gameplay? Again, it's a mobile game. I started playing the game on my phone, a Galaxy Note 10. I suck with touch controls. People who have played mobile games and are used to touch controls say it's pretty good. I, however, like to be comfortable when I play. I used an Xbox controller plugged up to my phone the first day I played. It wasn't bad. I just am most comfortable on mouse and keyboard. And so I use an emulator called BlueStacks. I've set up keybinds so that I can just press the buttons I'm used to playing an FPS with. The game just does it. There is some jank when it comes to certain things I'm trying to do, but you just get used to it. It's muscle memory. So let me switch to third person view here. There's my wolf character. I'm going to use WASD to walk around, jump, shoot, ADS. I can switch to first person view and be first person view all the time, just like Destiny. I guess I can turn on my keypad cam there so you can see my mouse. I think where Destiny feels better in terms of gameplay, it just doesn't feel smooth at times. Like even just strafing around in a circle, it just feels a little janky. Sometimes I'm jumping on stuff or spinning and shooting, and you could just, it just doesn't, it's not perfectly polished. Something that keeps me always coming back to Destiny 2 is the fact that the core combat loop, it's just so nice. It's just a pleasure to play. And I can see where this falls short, even if I'm perfectly set up with all my keybinds. It just doesn't have that secret sauce that Destiny has. 99% of mobile players won't be playing with an emulator. Yeah, and I played all the time off stream on my phone. I'm just slower, missing some shots, but there's settings that let you auto fire whenever you're aiming at something. So if you're using, the actual touch controls, simplifies it for you. I do that when I play off stream. Over the weekend, I played like that. It's just to stream it, and to really be comfortable, I prefer to be on mouse and keyboard. I also have no way to compare what the game feels like on touch controls versus another game. Don't have any experience with touch controls. The developer of Destiny Rising said they're interested in making a PC port. There is going to be a decent market of Destiny players wanting more Destiny, but don't want to be on mobile and don't want to go through the headache of setting up an emulator and everything else that goes with that, looking for a more optimal experience on PC. Combat-wise, a lot of your abilities come back quickly without being spec'd into my abilities coming back quickly. They come back within 10 seconds. If I use my super, it's probably back within a minute or so. I'm already a third back through my super, and I have no buffs running right now. So everything's just faster paced for the core combat loop. As much as I think the average Destiny player will not vibe with Destiny Rising, I hope it does really well. I don't consider myself a big mobile fan, but when I play this game, I'm hooked. Would I still be hooked if I was forced to be on a phone or tablet with a controller? Yeah, I think I still would, because it is a different style of game. Like when you sit down to play Destiny 2, it's typically like a whole session, right? You've set aside time, you're gonna raid tonight, you've got 3 hours, it's a whole event, and you're prepped and prepared and ready to go. Destiny Rising is like, oh, I have to take a shit. All right, leveled her up. All right, completed that activity. All right, got that exotic. All right, my feet are numb. I'm good. You didn't even plan that, and it just kind of happened. And it felt good clicking those buttons and making those numbers go up. It felt good trying to do a couple draws for the one mythic character you don't have yet, but you got a charm that lets you roll again, so you just went ahead and did it. You can hop in whenever you want. It's more Destiny content. You're a Destiny fan, so it's natural you'll gravitate towards it because it's more Destiny. Yeah. Will it hook people who are not Destiny fans? I don't know. I haven't talked to anyone who's not a Destiny fan who's tried out the alpha. I think a Destiny player's biggest hesitation with this game is going to be the UI. It feels overwhelming when you first start it. There is so much stuff in this game, and it's shown to you constantly all the time. I expand the ghost menu so much so that my character has to switch hands with the ghost. There's these constant blinking orange chest symbols, and each one of those tell you have a reward waiting for you. I try to click them all and keep up with them, but invariably I fall behind. It's like half the time you're clicking button to make number go up, but that feels good to get those increases. It feels good to click this stuff to see that, oh yeah, I got a new exotic. I got 2 new exotics, and now I can claim 80 Lumia leaves that I can then use to perhaps get upgrades for my existing characters or draw a new character. A Destiny 2 player who is used to a UI that isn't quite as in your face, toned down, may experience like this is probably the busiest screen in Destiny 2. Constant in your face, 1,000 things to do, whether it's your bad juju quest line, which I finally finished literally right now, so I can exchange these 5 exotic ciphers for bad juju. The great thing about Destiny Rising's UI though is that everything connects. I'm out of this currency. I don't have to know the name of it. I just have to click it and scroll down till I see an activity, click that activity and launch it right away. The UI connects like that literally all over the place. Everywhere where you need something, the game will just lead you to it. Launch it, I get up to 18 of those. So it is overwhelming, but all you have to do is click and you'll get to where you need to go in order to progress. And that feels good. It feels smooth. Whereas in regular Destiny, if you're here trying to enhance this to Volt Shot, and I had no Ascendant alloys, it would just say, oh, you can't do it. You'd have to say, oh, because I don't have enough alloys. Then I'd have to navigate over here and I'd have to mouse over this. If I had 0 Ascendant alloys, and it said 0 out of 1, I would go, crap, I don't have any Ascendant alloys. I can't enhance this to make this Volt Shot enhanced. What do? I couldn't even go here to mouse over this to see where to go to get the thing. It just won't tell me because it's not there. It just, the UI is meant to be cleaner and it won't just show you that stuff. So you have to pull up Google, leave the game, research it, realize that it's in the Throne World or Witch Queen Offensives, or you can go to Cryptarch or Banshee and then load up Banshee or Cryptarch in the tower and go buy it. No. In this, I just go click, and I'm done. And I can be 17 screens deep, and if I press back, it goes back to where I was. Bro, like, huh? Say I want to go play Gambit. I'm going to launch Gambit. We're 8 of 18 players, so we're going to keep matchmaking. While we're matchmaking, I'm going to keep playing the game. And I'm going to go over here and do this public event while I'm matchmaking for Shifting Gates. I think that's a pretty nice feature. There's raid matchmaking, but it can take time to find a match-made raid. You don't just have to sit in your screen. You can continue to play the game. Bots will join the team after matching for 30 seconds. So if I go to try to match other people in this activity and no other players are found, bots will join up and help me through the activity. Like this activity, 5 minutes long, called Legacy. I get different currencies to upgrade my characters with. Bots will help move that along faster instead of there being no one to play with, which Destiny 2 does not do. Your PC loads this mobile game so fast. When I load the main tower, let's time it. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Okay, like 2.5 seconds. Let's see how long it takes to load the tower on my phone. Okay, ready? 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. 3 seconds. The difference between a 4090 PC emulating with BlueStacks and a 2019 Galaxy Note 10 Plus is it took an extra half a second to load the social space because it's a mobile game. That's a priority for them. A priority for Destiny 2 is to have a great looking game, to spend that extra time to have something that looks incredible, to have longer, more epic activities. Destiny Rising has PvP. It's got spare racing. It's got a 6-player raid-like activity. It's got a PvE/VP mode like Gambit on crack. It's got destinations you can explore. It's got emotes. It's got exotics, mythic weapons, legendary weapons, ghost skins, sparrows. It's got wolf dens, which are clans in the game. You have your own clan housing, which you can customize with random objects that I've placed everywhere. You have a clan reward path to upgrade your clan house to get extra loot in the game. It's got an in-game ping system so your teammates can show you pinging different stuff. It shows you actual numbers for your weapons, for your abilities, exact quantifiable percentages so you know what your abilities are doing, you know what your upgrades are getting you. You get to see exactly what's happening to your character as you spend time and resources on it. You can rotate weapons and tilt them with your mouse wheel. What the heck? I just realized that. For weapons, you get a set amount of barrels and magazines that you can upgrade so they're more powerful the more you invest into it. So it actually, increases the damage. It's just buff only barrels and mags, as opposed in Destiny where they can have like pluses and minuses. These you upgrade so they're more powerful, but it does have randomly rolled perks. You can inspect a weapon. You can see its perk pool in game. So these are why you would farm certain activities over and over again until you get the weapon that has the perks that you want. Whereas the frames and attachments are all unlockable if you just upgrade the weapon. After getting a couple kills, you dump some currency into it. Unfortunately, by the making of this YouTube video, I have already beat the New Light campaign. It was probably a 20 to 30 hour campaign mission with all of these tutorials on how to unlock different parts of the game to really get you used to Destiny Rising. One of the problems we have in Destiny 2 is that the New Light system doesn't do a great job of onboarding new players very well, and I feel like Destiny Rising's New Light quest did a much better job getting me to understand the game and all of its nuances. Destiny Rising has leaderboards by region, by global, realm of the 9. This is the expanse activity where it's showing you who got to the furthest stage and how long it took players to get there. Calamity Ops and Gauntlet Ops, I think these are just speed runs, so who can do these the fastest. So I'm 7th place in Florida right now. If you place on the leaderboard, you get additional rewards. You get catalyst material that you can use. You can unlock your catalyst on your exotic weapons. Some incentive to want to be on the leaderboard. You get glimmer if you're topping the state/province, and then you get character upgrade materials if you're topping the national/regional leaderboards. That's pretty funny. But again, if that's not what you're into and you just want to play Destiny Rising while on the toilet and just have a good time clicking button, make number go up, and not being a super hard try hard, then you could do that. If you want to be a try hard, you can do that too. Destiny Rising does not have a peer-to-peer network structure. They are using dedicated servers through and through. So if PvP is your thing, then head on down to Destiny Rising and play you some Iron Bar. You'll have a dedicated server connection. What if the D2 community just moves all to Destiny Rising? I don't think this game is designed for your typical Destiny 2 fan. I think Destiny 2 does many things better than Destiny Rising. I think Destiny 2 is intended to be a game with more mystery, a game with more discovery, a game that has longer activities that need more dedication to complete and succeed. Not to say that it's a more difficult game. It's a game that I think requires more of your focus. Destiny Rising is showing you everything that it has. Its perks, the numbers behind everything, the chances of this, perk pools, whatever. Destiny 2 is designed in a way to want to give you a sense of like discovery and like this just feels better and I'm not sure why. And Destiny Rising's not that way. There is some overlap obviously with the world and the story and the lore, and everything feels familiar. It's an alternate universe set in an earlier time before Lightbearers had established classes. There's no warlocks, titans, and hunters. There's just light bearers, and there's individual characters who have their own set of abilities. So that overlap, I think, will attract people. It's what attracted me because I like Destiny, so I was going to try this game out. But I can definitely see not everyone from Destiny to liking Destiny Rising. I think a lot of Destiny players will see the fact that you can roll for power and pay money for that power and not even give the game a chance. Even if it doesn't affect their gameplay, they're just going to see that and either one, not want to tempt themselves into a gacha game, or two, just hear how predatory those microtransactions can be and just be turned off by it to not even want to try to see if they like the game. Feels good to have fresh life in Destiny. That's part of the pull for me, plus RNG bad luck protection. The game literally shows you your bad luck protection, at least for the draws of the mythic characters. Mythic character probability 2.5. If I pull one of these, and if I don't get a mythic character, I'm guaranteed to get one every 60. This probability goes up every time as I near the end. When it comes to grinding for things that are not characters, the game has a decent balance of an RNG loot farm and a deterministic path that you can use to get what you're farming for. So it never feels like your time is being wasted. You're always taking a baby step forward at the very minimum towards some sort of goal. You can also occasionally earn these choice engrams. These choice engrams let you choose a specific mythical weapon that you don't have in order to unlock it in your collections, or in this game, it's called Foundry. And then once you have it, you can use the mythic weapon engram, which is a lot more plentiful, and you can use that to farm or decrypt towards a specific mythic weapon that you've already unlocked, so you can farm for better perks on that mythic. Like in Destiny 2, you can only equip one exotic at a time, so you're always going to need at least a mythic weapon. And mythic weapons in Destiny Rising are like legendaries in Destiny 2. They're like an extra level there. Purples are like blues. They're trash. Destiny Rising also has a card game. I haven't really gotten into that. That's also not available right now. A lot of the activities are only available during certain times, I guess, to increase the player count for those things. Like Sparrow Racing just came out at 1 o'clock 15 minutes ago, so we can do that right now. I love Sparrow Racing. Destiny 1 Sparrow Racing definitely felt better. This does feel clunkier, a little jankier, but it's still fun. You still get rewards from it. You're still competing, and it's something you can just play. So what is the end game of Destiny Rising? It is the Golden Path. The Golden Path is a reward track that you have access to after you beat the main campaign portion of the game. And essentially, it's these boxes you have to check and then keep rechecking them. So for example, spend Pinnacle Energy. This is when you complete an activity, you can usually spend about 20 of this energy to get enhanced rewards at the end. Spending 120 of that lets you get 80 of these golden proverbs, which is just reputation to go up in levels of the golden path. And as you can see, I'm on round 5 of 20, so I've done this 5 times. So you keep checking these boxes to keep enhancing your level. There are certain upgrades that are locked behind your golden path level. For instance, you can't increase your characters to 6 stars, which keeps you level capped until you've unlocked golden path level 30. And there was one for 20. I think there's one for 10 as well. Acquiring mythic weapons, exotic weapons, other mythic characters, raising characters up through levels, those all give you more reputation for your golden path. That's the main in-game grind as I see it so far, along with the typical looter shooter grind of grinding for weapons and trying to get better perks, trying to figure out what builds make the most sense, which perks do you need to grind for in order for your build to be the best. The defensive artifact shards come from the Chaos Zur activity. You can grind for those because they have some RNG to them, different elements, different resistances. Then you have the offensive artifact shards. So these offensive ones have a little bit of RNG as well that you can grind for. Then there is the seasonal artifacts. These shards come from Expanse. This is the other Zur activity that continues on all the way up to 60 stages, where the higher you go up in stages, the more guaranteed you are to have even exotic level of artifact shards that will improve your builds even further, along with all the mythical shards, which have a higher chance at these higher levels. So that's the end game grind, perfecting your character, unlocking all these shards, getting the right rolls of these shards, getting preferred perks on your weapons that you're using, getting all of the exotics unlocked that you can use on your characters, unlocking all the characters through either progressing through the game and pulling draws naturally, or use breaking out the wallet and buying more of these, which I've not done yet. Titles that you can grind for an in-game. For instance, I can unlock now the Legacy Keeper title. What sucks about Destiny Rising? In the alpha state, dialogue is not the best. There's AI placeholders all over the place. The audio track seems to be limited to 24 kilobits per second. We're talking like cheap walkie-talkies from the dollar store levels of audio quality for the dialogue track. Like if you just listen to characters talk, you can hear the buzz.
I heard his whispers.
It sounds
Everything is getting better, isn't it?
fuzzy.
I hope this light
That
never
sucks.
fades.
Maybe it's coat, but I assume that's just an alpha level thing. Just needs more polish. Yeah, that's her humming, and it just sounds like static sometimes. So you got this brand new alternate dimension, earlier timeline. You have this campaign that needs to hook players for them to want to feel like they care about this world. The state that it's at in the alpha doesn't make me interested in the campaign at all. I was able to get through the campaign and luckily got to endgame where I really started to get hooked. I've played other games like First Descendant where the campaign was so bad, I couldn't do it and I stopped, and everyone was like, if you get through the campaign, it's gonna be really great. Couldn't do that. Obvious lack of animations, of refinement in cinematography. Sometimes the camera pans in a weird way. Sometimes you're staring at the wall. I mean, those are most likely just polish issues that come at the very end of development. If the game were to launch in this state, I think it would not be successful because of how many players would be turned off by the lack of polish in the campaign. And we all know for a live service game, you have to hook players. You have to make them care about the world, the characters, what's going on. A well-told story does that, and so far this game's not really doing that. It's kind of hard to judge the combat because I am playing on an emulator, which is not how it was designed. I am playing on a keyboard mouse through an emulator. It doesn't feel as good as Destiny 2, as other shooters. I would hate to make that a reason to not want to play the game, although it definitely is a reason. I'm just not playing the game how it's intended to be played, so I kind of hesitate on making that sort of a problem for the game, but it definitely is a problem, you know? Like, if I'm going to want to be grinding this game out, I'm going to want to have fun as I'm jumping, shooting, clicking buttons, completing quests, doing bounties, farming for weapons, exotics, characters. If that combat isn't good, if movement doesn't feel good, like that's a turnoff. And coming from Destiny 2, I think one of the best feeling shooters in the world, it's definitely a step down, and so that's going to hurt it in terms of people wanting to stick around and replay it constantly. Hopefully there's a PC port. Hopefully that port feels better for me on keyboard and mouse. When I played on controller, it felt mostly fine. Touch controls I despise because I was born in the 80s and that's just not something I do, so I can't really speak to that. And most importantly, what is the biggest turnoff of Destiny Rising? The fact that you can spend money to become more powerful is a turnoff. For me, I currently don't have a reason for someone else's progression to make me feel bad for my lack of progression because I haven't purchased a whole lot of these charms that let me pull all these characters right away first and upgrade everything to the max. I'm not in a race with you. I'm playing the game for fun for myself, so I don't have as much of a problem with the gacha style of monetization that this game uses with how progression works in the alpha. I'm happy with it. I plan to buy the battle pass. It gives you some extra rewards. I want to help support the game because I think it's great and I want more of this style of content because I'm having fun. I'm not going to get addicted to the gambling. Hopefully I don't get addicted to just throwing money at it so that I continue to progress. That just sounds gross and not fun. And if the game is designed that way, I'm just gonna stop playing it. Does this game have any pay to win stuff? No, but this game does. Prismatic and Strand, paywalled. Not a good look. If you don't play PvP, there is no pay to win in Destiny Rising. You're playing cooperative game modes. You're helping each other, so there's no competition. Destiny Rising has leaderboards that be dominated by whales. Yeah, you definitely have an advantage there on the leaderboards. Fair Play said no relic power. Yeah, power level disabled. The pay to win there is you'd have better rolls in your weapons potentially. You're starting to argue such and split hairs to the point where it feels like people arguing for pay to win in Destiny 2, where it's like, yeah, you have an advantage if you pay for certain things in Destiny 2, but it's like to an insignificant level that players are usually fine with. And with Fair Play enacted here, everyone level 1, I don't see it being as big of an issue. So in conclusion, I think Destiny Rising is going to surprise a lot of players. I think when you see how easy it is to get into the game, how you can just pull it up on your phone, start having a Destiny-like experience in an alternate dimension in an earlier time, loads fast, easy to play, easy to get into, feels familiar, the ability to play a looter shooter with lower stakes, faster turnover, shorter activities, it's going to start to get hooks in you. And I think players are going to be surprised when they finally get their hands on it. Because right now in the closed alpha state, very few people have this game. Like I'm streaming on Twitch right now and there's like 2 other people streaming it. So once the masses get their hands on it, I think the conversation about this game will spread a lot faster and a lot of people will play it. You fell asleep, didn't you? That's okay, it was a long video. Now that you're awake, press that sub button over there. Check out that video. All right now.